Welcome, hello, and this is Nerd Variety Podcast. You guys should not let me default to introducing us. This is Nerd Variety, and welcome, and we're all happy to be here. This is the podcast where we talk about nerdy things and podcast things, and sometimes variety things, but not always in that order.
It's a variety of nerdy things. We've talked about this.
A variety of nerdy podcast things.
Yes, exactly. It's a nerdy variety podcast of nerdy things with variety and podcast nerd things.
I'm confused, and I know you are too, listeners.
Yes. All right. So today, this week, we are talking about games that cause real-world fights. Or we've also discussed the title of games that end friendships. In very extreme cases, maybe marriages and relationships and stuff. But you probably already have troubles if any of these things, if a video game or a board game or any kind of game can break you up. Don't blame games, I'm just gonna say. But
don't just blame the game.
What?
Don't just blame the game.
Don't just play the game. Be with each other, connect, and let that be what breaks you up. Anyways, so we have been discussing amongst ourselves if board games, we haven't really gotten into it too much, but what do we think is most likely or more likely to actually end a friendship or just cause fights in real life? Do we think that's like a board game or like a video game?
I think that the more stereotypical option would be board games. And I feel like everyone knows what the classic friendship ending board game is.
Sorry.
No.
Oh.
Parcheesi, obviously.
Mexican train dominoes.
Monopoly. Yeah, Monopoly is one. And I don't think it's ruined any of my friendships, but I have one friend that I'm like, yeah, we're not playing board games ever again. Because she was like ruthless in Monopoly. And we were just like, we're not having fun, so we're not going to do this again. So I think that's the worst that I've had to deal with. But I think that that's sort of the historically the most famous friendship ender. There we go.
Friendship friender.
Yeah. One of those.
Friendship ruiner, damager.
Yeah. So I've never had that big of an issue with video games, but that's just me.
Well, and you're still early. We're still early in our gaming relationship, kind of,
You and me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you've seen how I can be with gaming sessions.
Well,
I feel like I'm a bit harsh sometimes.
Well,
luckily for you, I'm awesome, so it works out.
We are talking about playing video games with each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that might take a while, or it may be a very specific game or a very repetitive thing that one of y'all might do to, cause a division.
Again, it's one of those things where I don't know if games could end a friendship. At least I've never experienced that, but it might alter it. Yeah. So, I might not be too keen to play games that you're super familiar with and I'm not familiar with anymore. But
what?
What? I
don't know what game you're talking about. Definitely not a game that just came out with expansion today, and I want to get back to playing as soon as I can.
Yeah, Hunter and I have been playing World of Warcraft. Me for my first time ever, and you've been playing for how long?
Probably now a little over 14 years.
Yeah. So whenever we're doing anything, Hunter's like running around and like, okay, we're going to go here and then we're going to go here and then we're going to go here and get that plant and kill that guy. Actually, you're taking too long to kill that guy. I'll kill that guy. And I'm just kind of like, okay.
If it makes you feel
and then they get on to me for not reading any of the dialogue. I'm like,
If it makes you feel any better, my dad has been playing as long as I have, and I still have to hold his hand through everything. Though he argues that he moves slower when he's playing with me than when he's playing by himself, and I'm just like, then I think you need to do better when you play with me.
Whereas I'm a teacher for my profession, so when you play games that I'm familiar with, I'm like, okay, here's how we're gonna do this. Let me explain. Here's how all the gadgets work.
Technically, I'm a teacher too.
Hannah, you did a good job with teaching me and my friend Andrew about phasmophobia. We had
Oh yeah, I will.
we didn't really know what we were doing, and
Hey, I hope.
we were terrified of dying over and over again, especially with like jumping into a group or not doing our jobs. But you did make you'd help the experience. Hunter, I'm concerned because I do want to play Elder Scrolls online with you, but after hearing that with Hannah, I'm hoping that you can kind of temper your.
We just all three of us need to play at the same time, so Josh and I can commiserate about our experiences with Hunter as our leader.
I'm not super familiar with Elder Scrolls Online, so that's a little better. I'm not 14 years experienced with it, but yeah, I mean,
good. So
I guess
we'll be kind of fresh together.
I guess these games, it's it's not the game itself. It's just my approach sometimes to games that it sounds like can maybe be a little annoying.
It takes some adjusting, and you need to, I think, like generally be a pretty chill person, but it's like not that big a deal. I feel like in general, if a game's gonna end a friendship, I feel like it has to be competitive in some way.
Oh yeah, sure.
And like there could be instances where people could cheat or rules can be interpreted differently, which I think is the big deal with Monopoly, is everyone has different rules. And so when I was playing with my friend and we were like, yeah, we're not doing this again, we agreed that like if someone lands on your property and you don't notice before the next person takes their turn, you don't have to pay. Right? So it's like if I land on your property and you don't notice, then I don't have to pay you. Right? I'm basically squatting. Right? But she took that to the extreme of being like, oh, I landed on your property. Quick, give me the dice, roll them. Hey, gotcha. And it was like, that's not fun anymore. So it was just sort of like a different style of playing that in the competitive nature, I feel like made it kind of like, well, not enjoyable anymore.
Yeah. And, there were a lot of games that we played in college where a lot of people played by different rules. Some people were better at adapting to different rules than others. Some people were really strict, and especially when they weren't thoroughly discussed beforehand or someone came in the middle of a game.
Yeah.
It could get kind of out of hand a bit.
Well, I feel like so many popular games, Monopoly, again, being the prime example, when they've been around for so long, people's, like, the number of house rules that you have are just endless. Right? So like in my family, when we play Monopoly, we don't use ones. We're like, ones are stupid. We just round to the nearest 5 always, because the ones are just a pain to keep track of, and we're all fast enough at math that like rounding to the nearest 5 is no big deal. We're just like, yeah, and we figure it all works out in the end. Right? But like that's not really a thing people do, I don't think.
No, I think it takes away from the collecting money experience because of it. I mean, if you at least have ones, you got something there, something that makes you put something in your pocket.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, and it's just like that kind of thing. I agree with. Another example that came to my mind was like Settlers of Catan, because I know we played that a lot in college. I don't know if you guys did, but
I don't know if I played a lot in college, but I have played it a good bit.
Yeah,
I watched y'all play a lot, but I was kind of in and out. Yeah, I was like, that looks a little complicated.
I mean, that was one that I didn't get too like competitive with because I was always bad at it. So I was always like, I'm gonna lose anyway. I don't care what I do. And then I won a few games, like 3 or something. I don't know, like the entire however many years I was there. How long was I in college?
I don't know.
There were a couple of spaces there that were always really competitive when it came to Settlers. And I know to bring up another topic, another game type of game, card games. We would play President there, and that would go really fast. And I've seen like from there to my own local friend group that President can get kind of cutthroat and everybody feels kind of targeted, and they feel like the rules aren't in their favor, and it just causes, and it could lead to people not discourage people from playing for sure.
My favorite is Slap because it actually like gets violent.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Slapper. Is it also called Spoons?
No.
I
Slap
thought you were thinking
is
of ERS, right?
Yeah. It's kind of like War, except
one
you
you
can
really
like
fast.
slap if there's two of the same thing in a row, or you have a sandwich. But like it results in everyone slapping the stack of cards in the middle of the table.
Some people can get hurt.
No, yeah, we were
Yeah.
playing with my church group one time, and one kid had like just ever so slightly too long fingernails and cut someone else, but he was like, it's not a big deal. We kept playing and we all had like bits of his blood on our hands by the end of it. It was just like, oh, that's blood. That's not mine.
Yeah.
Cool.
Or even if you're playing with someone that's just has built hands and just fast reflexes with the game in general, or with the game, then there's gonna be some some pain there.
Well, and every now and then you come across,
even if you get the card.
Yeah, every now and then you come across a person like my brother, who doesn't listen to this episode, who when we're playing Slap, if he misses, he'll like pound all of the hands in the middle, just like out of anger or like being a little bit of a brat, or both.
Just to discourage, maybe to instill some fear in people playing.
Yeah, and it's I mean, I suppose it's fair, but it's yeah.
Poor sportsmanship is what you call it. You're flagging for poor sportsmanship.
Uno, I haven't been involved in any I haven't seen or been involved in any real fights. I think just people just get competitive, and it just feels really personal when someone makes you draw 4.
Oh yeah.
And then
reverses when you have to, when you're getting close to you're getting close to winning. Yeah.
Uno's another one of those games that I feel like has a lot of house rules.
Yeah.
So I've never played with stacking.
Well, and that is a common thing that you can. It's pretty common just for people doing I think Ubisoft publishes, they published the Uno game, like the video game, and that you can turn on certain things, like you can turn on stacking and everything. So to me, it's just kind of like, well, if it's in this, I kind of expect that it's a rather common thing.
Yeah. I want to hear Josh's thoughts about Phase 10.
I was gonna say
because I feel like it needs to be addressed.
Were you there?
I was not there. I've only heard stories.
Yeah, I didn't think you were there. I was gonna say, Phase 10, it didn't necessarily cause fights, but it at least almost did, because someone took.
I want to hear the story from Josh's perspective.
Okay. Oh, that's
okay. Fair. Okay. I may have been distracted during the game, or I may not have caught on to certain trends that were going on. And I don't really play Phase 10. I still don't play Phase 10 that much. So I think when there was a point where people were trying to end the game, and I just wasn't picking up on that, and the game kind of got a little out of hand, Okay. It's fine. It's been 3 years. Let's let it go.
Okay, but Josh, it wasn't so much that people were trying to end the game. It's that people wanted the game to be moving. And we didn't want it to take 30 minutes for one person to make a move.
Hey, it did not take me 30 minutes.
Sorry, 29 and a half minutes.
I object to anything over 2 minutes. It may have taken me 2 minutes or so for certain ones, or
maybe 5. Maybe
no, not even 5 minutes. Probably what's the average speed for drawing or placing a card down?
Like 10 seconds.
Okay. So
maybe if you know what you're doing, or
maybe 30.
If you don't know what you're doing, 10 seconds.
30 because I didn't know what I was doing at least.
Okay, so yeah, it was 10 minutes for you each time.
It was not. Again, you're going way more than what it actually was.
The
I feel like we're about
lasted-
to have a real life
the
fight
game
here.
lasted 8 hours. Okay,
Y'all wanted to
one
keep playing,
game.
and I was like, I'm just here hanging out, enjoying the camping trip, and
One
Yeah,
game.
I was not present on that
8
camping
hours.
trip.
this is why we never played Phase 10 again, because they're all
We did,
well, at least
actually.
not with me.
Well, yeah, not with you, I don't think. We played it at Josh's bachelor party.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I
I
don't
wasn't
think you were
there.
there for that.
The only reason I couldn't make that because my car decided to overheat on me. So
Yeah, we were fine. We got through that game much quicker than 8 hours.
well, good. I'm glad y'all missed me for that one. I bet you're glad my car overheated, so I couldn't make it.
No.
Yeah. It's fine. I did want to circle back to the Monopoly. With the rules are definitely a big turn off for some people, or can definitely stop a friend group from playing the game because some have certain rules that they want to go by, but other people are not aware of these rules. And then there's also, Hannah, do y'all have? Will people team up when they
Like gang
make
up on
alliances?
people?
Gang up on people or make alliances that you know,
well,
that
I'm sure that does
are
happen.
kind of unfair.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
so this actually is the only person other than me who knows this is Patrick, but we the last time my parents were in town, we played Monopoly with I think 7 of us. I think 7 of us were all playing Monopoly, and I've never played Monopoly with that many people before, and it was fun. We had a good time. But my sister-in-law, May, decided she didn't really want to play anymore, and so kept like sliding her money under the table to me. And we have a glass table, but somehow we got away with it. She would like put money on the chair between us and then like tap my leg, and I'd grab it and put it on my stack. And she kept giving me money. Like, she gave me multiple thousands of dollars of money, and she kept trying to leave, but she kept like landing on free parking and things and like getting more money, and just continuously was handing me money. And I ended up winning the game. And this was like 2 months ago, and I still haven't told anybody but Patrick because I'm like, I don't want them to hate me.
Now it's out there, though. All they have to do is listen to this podcast.
I know. Yeah.
Out there.
So if anyone
Grandma's-
approaches me, I'll know that they listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
So
It's like, I'm
Well,
not even
you can't help that, Hannah. Grandma's always give you money.
yeah.
It's like, Grandma, no, just take it, honey, just take it.
It's like, you could have won by now. Come on.
Yeah, no, but so that was, I guess, an alliance, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
It's just cheating. Let's call it what it is. It's cheating.
It was cheating, yeah.
Sometimes it's
Totally,
cheating.
totally
Sometimes it's like it's just house rules that are agreed upon, but they can still stir up controversy.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, if anyone had been paying attention, like, it was fairly obvious that we were cheating, because again, the table's made of glass, so like they could see what was going on if they were looking. And I kept getting money from May and like having to give money to other people, but somehow I never ran out of money. Like, people hardly ever landed on my property, so like they should have sensed that something was up. Like, we never pay Hannah, but she always has money to give us. Like, what's going on with that? But no, they never figured it out. So that's on them.
And sometimes it is your own fault for not noticing an alliance or someone being kind of underhanded.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think alliances are like really cheating. That kind of play was.
No, yeah, no, it was totally cheating. Yeah.
But like alliances and stuff, I mean, I don't even think that's like that should be. Those are like house rules. I mean, that's just kind of, you can acknowledge it or not, but that's just kind of how you choose to play.
Well, and the only really, like, I feel like the only real way to make alliances in Monopoly is to like cut people some slack on like trading. Because like, obviously you can't be like, oh, you landed on my property, yeah, you don't have to pay. Like, no one's gonna go with that. They're gonna be like, no, yes they do.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it's definitely just like a trading thing. It's who you want to be nice to and who you're willing to trade with.
Yeah, so it's not cheating. It's maybe slightly, I guess, manipulative, but
if you guys want to see a great example of Monopoly starting arguments and stirring up feuds and bad blood, watch Blackish. is the episode where they're playing is the whole episode is they're doing game night.
Oh, I
and
think
they're
I've
playing
seen
Monopoly.
clips of that on the internet.
It is like the realest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen that segment.
I don't remember if I have. It sounds familiar, but I'm not entirely sure. I haven't watched a lot of that show.
I haven't watched
they have
any
a
of it.
few-
I just like found it on like Tumblr or something. I don't remember.
I watched
A
some of
meme
it for a
site.
while, but
Yeah, it's on Hulu. It's great. It's got a lot of some good choice episodes. I think we have to mention video games.
Yeah, I was about to mention
I
that.
think there are two specifically that we have to mention. I don't know what's the first one that comes to one of your minds.
Mario Party.
So Mario Party for sure comes to my mind like immediately. That's the first one I think of. Just because, and I think a lot of it has to do with maybe not quite, but it always to me feels very similar to Monopoly, even though I know it's definitely, it's really not, but you know. And I think that's, now it's been forever since I've played a Mario Party game, but it's probably mostly due to just like the little mini games, isn't it? Where the real competitiveness comes out.
Yeah. And definitely moving across the board because I think you can screw your friends and family over by depending on which way you go and how you move across, especially if you hit a Bowser square.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think some of the items also.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you know, save your warp to the star until someone's like almost there, and then use it.
Exactly.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
It's been so long since I played that. It's because I haven't had people to play it with, and I haven't had a Nintendo system for a long time until just recently.
Yeah, I would play it, but because I have a Nintendo Switch, but I technically have a Switch Lite. Not super great for multiplayer games.
Yeah. Well,
I think I don't know if you're planning on making us get any more, Hunter, but Mario Kart is probably another prime example.
Yeah, that's exactly the second one I was thinking, because like Mario there's something about Mario. He likes to make other people fight, apparently. I don't know.
Well, I remember we had a Wii, and I have 3 siblings, so anytime there was a 4-player game, we were like, yes, 4 players, that's us. And so we would go play 4-player games together. And they had like the new Super Mario Brothers, which was the 4-player, like the sort of 3D animated, and you kind of had to work together to get through levels. And we were teenagers also, which didn't help, but like we would get so mad at each other for like knocking someone else into the lava or like just doing something stupid. So I feel like that was also a Mario game that we we were so mad at each other about.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
Yeah, you get really close to
that one.
Yeah, you get really close to the end, and then someone hits you with a blue shell.
Mm-hmm.
The one that gets my blood boiling is the lightning bolt, because I just hate I hate someone else being in control of my speed. It's like, oh, come on, I don't like to lose momentum here. Don't do this to me.
Isn't it I thought it was like the I can't even remember all of them. Was it the blue shell that like was the homing one?
Yeah.
I don't remember for sure that it was the blue one, but I remember there were a lot of shells.
Or even just being hit by a red shell by someone.
Was it the red shell the one that shot backwards?
No, so the green ones you shoot either forwards or backwards, and they sort of bounce around. The red ones are the homing ones for like the person directly in front of you. The blue ones immediately fly over everyone and like blow up the first person in first place.
Get whoever's in first.
Yeah.
They're all just so mean.
I was always terrible with the green shells. I always hit myself with my green shells more than anybody else.
Yeah, I ended up slipping on my own banana peels. I'll throw them too far, like far enough ahead to where I was like, okay, I'm in range of them. Oh, I should move. Oh crap! Dang it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Mario Kart and Mario Party, for sure, two video games that I think at least are the most well known for causing fights, causing real world fights.
Have you guys played Overcooked?
Mm-mm.
Only a little bit, and just by myself.
Yeah, it's a Switch. I think it's a Switch game.
I mean, it's on Switch.
Yeah, I think it's on a few other
it's on
consoles
other
as
things.
well.
I played it on Xbox.
Yeah, I think I have it on my PC actually. But it's basically, Josh, it's a cooking game where you can have up to 4 players and you have to run around a kitchen and like chop food and cook it and plate it and serve it. And you're like these little tiny cute characters and you're just running around.
Yeah.
It's like a top-down sort of thing. But the levels are also absurd. So it's like you'll be playing on 2 trucks that are driving down the highway and you have to like they'll like get out of sync and you'll have to be like, well, I can't jump over to the other truck now. You have to wait for them to come back and then you can jump over. But like I played it again with my siblings and I think my sister's fiance, and we were like all yelling at each other. It's one of those games that I don't feel like any of us were mad at each other afterwards, but during playing, you're like, what are you doing? Like, you just threw a hamburger into the street. What are you doing? It's all like a very tense, high energy in the moment kind of game.
Yeah, I can see you getting pretty invested and involved, like saying things that you would only say because of that game.
Yeah.
Why did you throw out the lasagna? Why did you throw out the lasagna?
Yeah.
It was fine.
Yeah. I think there's one level where you're like in a hot air balloon that's on fire and like crashing to the ground or something. And so you have to like put out fires while other people are cooking and serving. I don't know who they're serving, but it's just like the levels are so insane.
And this game is called Overcooked.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's 2 of them, I think, right?
Yeah, there are. Yeah, they're really fun, but Patrick refuses to play them with us because he's like, I've spent too many years in a kitchen. I've seen battle. Never again.
Yeah. I've seen some yelling. Definitely after working at Starbucks. It's like, oh yeah, there's tensions can run high.
Yeah.
One game I was going to mention, don't lose it. It was not so much a game, but Jackbox party games.
Oh yeah.
Specifically, was it
Murder?
Faking It, Trivia Murder Party, was it Push the Button, which plays a lot like Among Us.
Yeah.
Yes. I remember that one.
But you're with your people playing that. You're all usually together playing it in the same. You can usually communicate with each other.
Yeah.
So it's
within strangling distance.
Yeah, within yell within you can point at the person that you're angry with, tell them how you feel.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I've had a lot of strife come about because of the Jackbox games, but I definitely can see how they would.
Oh. I mean, we're
I think Trivia Murder Party is the big one for us.
Yeah, we're a cool group though. We don't get into real fights too often.
I do feel like most of the fights that I've had about games, I have 3 siblings and we're all pretty close in age. Beck's the youngest and they're 18 now. So I feel like just having that many siblings and all of us being homeschooled and all of us being together all the time, like that's I feel like where the majority of my gaming fights came from. Our dad won't play Monopoly with us. Because we're mostly just because I think we're too slow for him. He's like, come on guys, let's go. I need this to not take 3 hours. But I feel like I maybe fought because of games more often than some people because I just played with my siblings all the time.
Yeah, I think the fights, fights between card games, board games, video games, they usually happen they're more likely to happen between siblings.
Yeah.
You're in arms with distance of each other. You're usually not playing. Parents aren't usually there to curb any actual violence. Yeah.
Well,
so you probably don't get between siblings if you're playing with siblings, people who are siblings, don't get in the middle of their fight.
No. We'd fight over like Lego Star Wars. I don't know how Lego Star Wars made us fight, but even that is a game that we'd fight during. I don't know.
I can see it if I remember Because I think I've gotten in some fights with some people, whoever I was playing Lego Star Wars with. I don't even remember. It's been so long since I've actually played and played with somebody else. Um, but yeah, like, and that was something I was gonna bring up too. We touched on it at the beginning already, but you say like board games and like competitive games are the easiest to get into fights with. I think a lot of cooperative games are actually way too easy to get into fights with.
That's what I was just thinking.
Because, especially, as well, and I'm just thinking of like World of Warcraft. Thankfully, it's not like how we play. And I've never had people that I knew personally that I really did raiding with. But I've seen how people talk in raids and, being in there in like Discord and hearing people just talk over things. People get pissed and it can get out of hand. Like, when somebody ends up when some people just end up not doing what they're supposed to do, or just not knowing what's supposed to be happening. There's just not clear communication everywhere.
There's an element of, when you're doing something cooperative, needing to pull your weight.
Yeah.
And that definitely, it can be an issue sometime. And then going back to like the Mario games, if you're doing those platformers and you have multiple people playing at once on the same screen, if like one person keeps moving and the other person's having trouble with an obstacle and they like disappear off the screen, they just die. And so it's like, well, you weren't fast enough, and things like that. You're like, same energy.
Yeah, or you can consider first-person shooter games or games that are played online, like multiplayer, and you have people that are pretty competitive when they play, and they love their kill-death ratio. They don't want it to waver too much. Then they have somebody that's just playing for fun or isn't very good, and they'll get on the server and they'll get put in their group, and they expect everybody to play a certain part for capture the flag or hold the base or Slayer, so whatever game it is, and that person just kind of causes them to lose by like a few points, and if that can happen over several hours, and it's just okay. That person usually can get chewed out and just kicked out.
Yeah, I've played some like online cooperative games just like with strangers on the internet before, and I've had people purposefully make it impossible for me to do anything or like progress the game, specifically because I'm female and they like to pick on me, which is fun.
Yeah.
That's a great time. I'll be so excited when that happens. I've literally had to be like, I guess I'm just leaving the server because I literally can't do anything. This person won't leave me alone.
Yeah. It can bring out the worst of people, and I have seen it bring just you meet some great people that are very just there to have fun, very willing to just have camaraderie for the sake of camaraderie. But then jerks.
Yep. The anonymity of a screen, man, turns people into monsters sometimes.
Yeah, it does.
Yep.
Now, and it's great though, because I feel like it's unfortunately rare. It's great when I'm in a game and people are just all nice and pleasant to each other. It doesn't happen very much, but I've seen it happen, and it just makes it so much better, So often people are just screaming at each other for messing up, and then when someone messes up and you hear other people like, oh, it's okay, don't worry about it, we'll help you out,
I've played I've been playing some online, again, just with strangers among us, and you get people every now and then who just want to like make references to their genitals in the chat the entire time, or like be annoying. But then every now and then you come across people who are like, hello friends, and they're like, hello new friend, welcome to our game, join us, have fun, we're gonna murder you, but it's all gonna be great. So it's like you really do get both ends of the spectrum.
I have seen some really heartwarming things on Among Us.
I remember when it was years ago during I think it was Halo Reach. I ended up playing that like all night long. Like I was like, okay, one more game. Or last game. This is the last game. Then I ended up putting it down. The sun came up. But I ended up playing because I ended up like getting with this group of players who were all just really nice. They wanted to keep the party going. Let's keep the party going, guys. This is awesome. This is awesome. We're having a good time, talking on chat, making jokes.
Mm-hmm.
And one guy was, had finished a 6-pack, and he was just saying all kinds of random stuff, and it was a fun night.
Yeah. So to get a little scientific for a second, there's been general concern in the last couple decades, basically, of parents being worried that video games rather kids' brains or make them more violent or things like that. And studies generally show, and I've actually looked up a lot of studies and reports on violent tendencies in children and their connection to video games, and there apparently is not really much of a connection, right? You might have temporary increased levels of aggression if you're just playing a game, but long term it doesn't really affect your brain chemistry or anything. But what has been an effect of video games is there's a lot of people who wouldn't normally feel comfortable breaking out of their shell, but because of the anonymity of a screen, they have the opportunity to make friends and sort of have peers in a virtual setting, which is where they're much more comfortable, and help them sort of break out of their shell in that way. So the actual social implications of online gaming have been really beneficial to a lot of people.
Yeah,
I think it's awesome.
Especially given the year that this has been.
Yeah,
people have been flocking to video games, way more than ever before, especially online cooperative games. Phasmophobia took off. Fall Guys, Among Us. I'm trying to think of some other ones.
I think those were the big three.
What was that? Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing.
That was huge too.
Animal Crossing is fun. I definitely have a picture of me on Facebook that's my friend Kayla posted it, and she's like, me and Hannah visiting during quarantine, and it's her sitting in my butterfly room at my museum with me.
I didn't realize
screenshot
that
of our avatars.
Cooperative. I knew you could visit each other's things, but do you actually work together? Do you?
Not really, but it's fun because you can buy things to have a party and make a dance floor and have things. You just sort of have your friends come over and you chat and you dance a little bit, and it's fun. It's a cool way of being social when we're not really allowed to be social.
Yeah.
Well, so I wanted to talk real quick. We don't have a lot of time, but real quick about maybe the obvious category of video games. What about fighting games? I don't know if any of us play fighting games. I know I play Mortal Kombat, and that's the only thing I play, but I'm terrible at it, so I don't play very much.
I've pissed some people off while playing Super Smash Bros. Before.
Yeah, Smash Brothers, Injustice, Dragon Ball Fighters, Mortal Kombat. Street Fighter. Tekken. All those can stir up some emotions, especially if someone's really skilled and they're playing with a button masher, or if they're just really devoted to the game, and they just ends up bringing out negative emotions within them when they lose, or they get too negative about losing. I've seen a lot where it's pretty hell, you got me. That was good. That was a good game. Good match. Good sportsmanship with it.
Yeah, I've seen way too many screenshots that people share in I think it's a Mortal Kombat 11 Facebook group I'm in. Too many people sharing things saying after a match that they beat someone in or something, just saying you suck and you're just no good and you should go kill yourself, whatever. And it's
jeez,
what? This was a video game. This person's better at you in a video. He beat you in a video game, or they beat you in a video game. So this is how you respond.
Yeah. I feel like the moral of the story is it doesn't matter what the game is. What matters is who's playing it.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And be the person who doesn't make friendships end over games.
Exactly.
That's up to you.
Or take things too personal.
Yeah.
Whenever,
it's just a game, bro.
Yeah, it's a game. Yeah, fam. Just let it go.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to win. Sometimes
at the end of the day, we're all here to have
personal,
fun.
But yeah, just
All right, guys. Well, thank you for coming this week. We all need a break. So this week I don't remember exactly why we chose next Monday, the Monday after Thanksgiving, for a break instead of the week of Thanksgiving. But either way, that was our choice. So I guess that way it's a longer weekend. I don't know. But yeah, we are off next week for Thanksgiving. That's, my short of that. And the week after that, we are coming back with musicals. And then I believe we only have 2 more after musicals until the end of the season.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Wow.
We're very excited.
And we may or may not have a guest for musicals. The people we've talked to about that are still iffy. So
I could bring Sarah back.
Okay. All right.
She knows about musicals.
Thanks, guys. Hope you are enjoying whatever you're doing. Hope you enjoy listening, and stay out of fights in the real world.
Yeah.
Video games. Don't let video games, board games, anything cause real world fights.
Be above that.
Friendships are worth more than.
Yeah. Be zen. Well.
All right. So until next time. Nerd out.
Goodbye.
Nerd out. Later.